Blessings, Rock and Metal Guardians. Hope you're doing well wherever you may find yourselves. I'm Dane, host of the channel, and welcome to another episode that has taken me way too long to get to you, but here it is. And the reason for that is because about the last 9 or 10 days or so, I have been re-evaluating my initial re-evaluation of my evaluation regarding this topic. And as you can see from the thumbnail, this is called Common Denominator, Matt Pike, ranking the albums of High on Fire, Sleep, and his solo record, Pike versus the Automaton. Before we get into the ranking, let me talk about how my journey began with High on Fire, which then led me to Sleep. And so back in 2010, I'm in the Borders bookstore, which of course doesn't exist anymore as a chain, and I go upstairs to use the men's room, and I come back out, and they have in the kind of hallway before the bathroom, they have the setup for the various types of literature for, places to eat and venues to go see live music and that sort of thing. And I get my coffee, I sit down with a copy, and I'm going through it, and I see an article about High on Fire. I was like, wow, I've never heard of this band before. So I start investigating. A couple days later, I guess, I go to the Best Buy back when they still had lots of CDs. I missed that. And I see a copy of Blessed Black Wings. I get it, I take it home, I listen to it, and I'm in. And then later in the year, in Christmas season, I'm driving up to Knoxville to go see my mom and dad, my sister and my brother-in-law, and on the way I have to use the bathroom, so I stop at the Best Buy, and I see a copy of Snakes for the Divine, so I grab that, I listen to it on the way up, and I'm definitely hooked, and that's where I start picking up all their CDs. And then that led me to Sleep, as I said. Finally, before we get into the rankings, let me say that 1, there are no stinkers here, and then 2, with respect to we know that Sleep is a doom/stoner metal band, but as far as High on Fire goes, they have elements of thrash, they have elements of doom metal, they have elements of stoner metal, sludge metal, psychedelic metal, Viking metal briefly at times. They have elements of Turkish/Middle Eastern tones in their music. As far as Matt Pike's vocals go, he has a Motorhead/Lemmy vibe to his vocals a lot of the time. He has a thunderous voice, a booming voice, a roaring voice like a lion. Sometimes not as much as the Lemmy Motorhead stuff. A few places here and there, his vocals remind me of Phil Anselmo of Down and Pantera on steroids. And then finally, this is a positive, the music in general and his vocals make me think of orcs marching off to war. All right, so let's dive into this ranking. Coming in at dead last is at number 14, Volume 1 from Sleep, their debut. Don't have a prop here, I just have that on MP3 format. I like it, but of the 14 that we're talking about today is my least favorite, but I do like it, as I said. The album cover looks like someone sliced off Salvador Dali's face and then propped them up with these large hooks, and it's got that sliding, melting look to it, the same way a lot of Salvador Dali's art had that melting, like the clocks, that sort of thing. And this is the most difficult of the 14 to describe. Nothing else in the discography of these 3 bands or artists combined sounds like this. You have to listen to it for yourself. There's something different with respect to texture and vibe and mood. It has a doomy, sludgy, and stoner element to it, but it's kind of like a demo for what's to come with Sleep, and I'll leave it at that. Number 13 is Luminiferous. There's nothing on here that I would say is excellent, but this is not mediocre either. So everything on here is either good, in between good, and slightly approaching, a couple songs are slightly approaching excellent. So The Black Plot, Carcosa, The Sunless Years, Slave the Hide, and The Dark Side of the Compass are my favorite tracks on here. The first 2, The Black Plot and the Carcosa, are the 2 best. My least favorite song is The Falconist. I could do without the song. Of the whole discography, this is probably the only song that I could do without. It's kind of repetitive and just doesn't go much anywhere. It's just something about it I just don't care for. But anyway, a lot to like here, despite the fact that it's second to last. Again, no stinker albums here. High on Fire's Luminiferous coming in at number 13. Love the album cover. Perhaps this is Hastur, one of the Lovecraftian creatures in the mythos. Maybe it has to do with Carcosa, and if it does, this would be Hastur, I believe. So anyway, number 13. Coming in now at number 12 is Electric Messiah. This CD, my understanding, was dedicated to Lemmy Kilmister. The best songs on here are Spewed from the Earth, Freebooter, and let's see. Yeah, those are the two best, but I like everything on here. Steps of the Ziggurat / House of Enlil is a very good track. The title track is quite good as well. Sanction and Annihilation and the Pallid Mask would probably be my two least favorite, but I do like them. God of the Godless is quite powerful. It's a good song. The drums above the guitar, the drums in the mix though above the guitar for some reason. But there's a lot to like here. The title track has a fast thrash metal-y sound to it, or thrash doom metal. What I mean by that, a lot of what's to like about High on Fire is you get the best of both worlds. You have elements of thrash and doom going on at the same time, and it's just awesome. This song might be a microcosm for the band overall. And again, that's the title track, Electric Messiah. So again, a lot to like here. So Electric Messiah coming in at number 12. All right. Have lots of notes here. It's a little scrambled, so bear with me. Now, coming in at number 11 is Dope Smoker. Great album cover, reissued, years later with a different album cover. And there's something positively meditative about the only track on the album. It's an hour, almost an hour and 4 minutes, and it's meant to be a pure stoner metal song. It's just that you plant yourself and you take it all in. It's not meant for you to get up and headbang. It's not that kind of song. It's very sludgy and slow, but it's got that meditative. You just want to take it all in, as I said, and it's got that motif of that jung, 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 and you got some wonderful licks and some amazing soloing going on in and out of the song, which is fabulous. But it is ranked lower in the 14 albums here, because you have one song, and as much as I like the repetition and you get to plant yourself, there isn't enough variation that you want from an album. So it has both the goodness of that meditative long, you plant yourself, but at the same time, there's not a variation here. You don't get different textures and stuff from this aspect of different songs. But you do get different textures within the song itself, so that's good. So anyway, Dope Smoker coming in at number 11. Number 10, The Art of Self-Defense. This is the alternate album cover. The original had more color. There was lots of orange and blue in here. This version has a nice booklet in it. Really cool. I won't show you everything, but if we talk about some of the songs now, oops, let me get that, sorry. Okay, so if we talk about The Art of Self-Defense, you have wonderful songs like Baghdad, 10,000 Years is phenomenal. Blood from Zion is very sleep-like. A lot of this album, this debut, has a lot of sleep qualities to it. Go figure, it's their first album. The song Will Last, probably my least favorite, but I do like it. Fireface is pretty cool as well. Master of Fits, the epic 10-minute and 4-second track, is just phenomenal. There is amazing stuff. It's very raw and unpolished, but hey, so is Metallica's first album. I like it in this unpolished state. I think had it been more polished, it wouldn't have had the mood and the vibe and the atmosphere that the band was going for. What a great debut from a great heavy metal band. So coming in at number, as I said, I have to flip back through things. Art of Self-Defense coming in at number 10. Now this next album is unique in many ways from the rest of the High on Fire catalog, and taking in everything else, accounting for Sleep and Matt Pike's solo album, and that is De Vermis Mysteris, if I'm pronouncing that right. And this is the album title comes from the name of a Lovecraftian tome of magic where you summon these gods, right? And it's also a concept album, or Matt Pike says, sort of, and it's about had Christ had a twin brother who dies, and his soul becomes this time traveler who is linked to his ancestors, and he jumps in and out of time like Quantum Leap, the character there. This is quite different from, as I said, from what else is going on in the discography, but I'm quite fond of it. So it gets the ninth spot. So let's talk about the album a little bit. Put this down, and let me just get to my notes on this part. You have the opening track, Serums of Lao. It's kick-ass. The band doesn't take a breath in the song, it seems. The solo is weird, it's trippy, it's shredding, and overall just dynamite. Bloody Knuckles is phenomenal. It's awesome, it's menacing. It's got this menacing, pre-riff before the main riff motif comes in. It's super heavy, one of their best songs. Fertile Green, the drum intro is great. Then you have the speed thrash metal stuff going on. Then the drums, the bass, and guitar. Move on from that. The solo is odd but wonderful. I can't describe it. You have to listen to it yourself. There's a slight Middle Eastern tone here, something I mentioned, right? Still amazing. There's a soundtrack vibe to it because of that, Middle Eastern, which I'm loving this Middle Eastern stuff that they do. I wish there was more of it, and there is on their new album. Then you have Madness of an Architect. It's slow, it's plodding along, yet it's that meditative metal like the song here, okay. Dope Smoker, it's very Dope Smoker-esque in the sense that you meant to plant yourself and just take it all in kind of thing. Again, it's that slow, plodding, sludgy stuff, it's great. The solo in the last couple minutes is one of Matt Pike's best. Next is Samsara. This is a nice instrumental. It's like 3 minutes and 40-something seconds. The drums open and the bass has a Cliff Burton tone to it. Anesthesia, think Anesthesia pulling teeth / For Whom the Bells Toll, Orion. Then the guitar kicks in, just wow. Then you have Spiritual Rites, Fast and Furious opening. Then it shifts to a slower, drudgy, then the vocals. It's just so cool. It's a nice paced song. I think the song should be called Fist of Fury because of the heaviness to it. It's great. Then is King of Days, which is what I was talking about. I think this is a song where we're talking about the loose concept piece about Christ's twin. There's more of this Cliff Burton-y style of tone on bass. It's slow and sludgy. It's powerful. It's emotive. The guitar especially. And it's quite moving for a heavy metal song. It's great. And I would call this a dark horse of a song. Next is the title track, more subtle Middle Eastern tones here. It's fabulous. The drums are so inviting. It's ear candy. Then Romulus and Remus is fantastic. Great opening hook riff. It's a killer song. The guitar here is just one example of why Matt Pike's one of the best guitarists in the whole planet. Just great. Finally, Warhorn, slow, almost a cappella like singing from Matt Pike at first, but there are drums accompanying him, and then the rest of the instruments kick in. It's just great. It's a sludge-like song. It just kicks ass. The tempo is great. So Warhorn coming in as the 10th song on the album, or the 9th song, I believe, 9 or 10. It's a fabulous album. Some days I want to rank De Vermis Mysteris higher, but this is where I've put it. As I said, it took a lot of time evaluating and reevaluating and reevaluating, but I think this is where it goes. I know this is where it goes, but it is such a cool album. This has been a very difficult process to rank. Like I said, I spent a lot of time on this. Just some wonderful music here. And the more wonderful when you have a band, or Matt Pike in this case, who's in all three of these bands and artists, it's in all of it's wonderful, or most of it's wonderful, 99.9% right. It's really difficult to rank them. Anyway, next coming in number 8 is Death Is This Communion. Let's talk about this album for a brief. Won't say much compared to the last album. I had to say a lot about the last album because it's so unique in many ways compared to what else is in the discography, as I said. So, Death Is This Communion. The great songs on here are Fury Whip, Waste of Time At, Death Is This Communion, the title track, probably my least favorite. Conjured's Wall and the Turk, is that Middle Eastern flair. Headhunter's quite good. Rumors of War, D2, Cyclopean Scape, Ethereal, and Return to None. 1, 2, 3. Those last 5 songs are just phenomenal. Back to back to back to back to back. It's great. This is a fabulous album. So I'm putting it here at number 8. So, and this and the next one are, because of GF14 right at the middle. And coming in next is Surrounded by Thieves. Now let's talk about this one. This is more sleep-like the first album. You have Eyes and Teeth, Hung, Drawn, and Quartered, one of their best songs. Everything on here is fabulous. Speed Wolf, The Yeti, Nemesis. I take that back. Probably my least favorite song is Thraft of Caravan. It's okay. The title track is amazing. Razor Hoof is amazing. What a great album. High on Fire. Surrounded by Thieves. Their second album. Now, that's number 7. Number 6. Sleep, Holy Mountain. This is not the version that has the cover of Snowblind, but I do have that on MP3 format. I bought this a few years ago. I decided I didn't want to just have the MP3 format because I want to be able to listen to this in the car. Dragonaut, The Druid, Evil Gypsy / Solomon's Theme, back to back to back goodness. Some Grass is okay. The title track is great. Inside the Sun, From Beyond, and there's some other tracks here. This is a fabulous album for those of you who love doom and stoner metal. This is fabulous, but it is ranked at number 6, so it's not in the top 5. I know a lot of you would put this in the top 5 or higher, but for me, a lot to like here. But for me, it goes number 6, Holy Mountain. Again, if you can, get the version that has the bonus track, if you can still find it, or if not, just download it like I did. Snowblind, Black Sabbath, probably one of the best cover songs of all time. One of the best Black Sabbath cover songs of all time. It puts Faith No More's Black Sabbath cover to shame. Anyway, that's a different song. Anyway, Sleep, Holy Mountain. Now, coming in at number 5, Cometh The Storm, the new one. Very high up, cracking the top 5. I did a review on this album and had lots of high praise for it, so I'm not going to repeat myself or say too much, but you have 11 songs on here and they're all fabulous. Lamb's Bread, got some Middle Eastern vibes going on. Burning Down is amazing. That's the hit off the album, so to speak. Trismegistus is amazing. The title track is amazing. We get more Turkish Middle Eastern goodness with Karen Altsiol, if I'm pronouncing that right. Soul's Golden Curse is great. Then you get this hardcore punk stuff with The Beating / Tough Guy, song 7 and 8. Lightning Beard is fabulous. Hunting Shadows is amazing. And Darker Fleece, what a great title. Goes with a great song. Great way to close this album. This is dynamite. So dynamite, it gets the number 5 spot. All right. Now this next one's going to shock you. Number 4. Pike versus the Automaton. Let me talk about this. I have lots to say about this. Well, somewhat. I don't want to say a lot, but a little bit. All right. So, talk about a great intro song. Abusive. One of the best songs of all these 3 bands / artists. This is in the top 10, top 5. Abusive is so powerful. Great guitar solo. Oh my God, it's amazing. I'm a Chicago Blackhawks fan, and Darren Pang used to be an announcer way back when in the 80s and 90s, and he's announcing again, but this time for the Blackhawks. And his catchphrase is "Holy jumpin'," and that's when I first heard that song. I was like, "Holy!" Sorry, I hit the microphone. "Holy jumpin'!" Right? I jumped right. It's amazing. This is a great song. Next is Throat Cobra. Oh, so amazing too, right? There's definitely a Fast Eddie Clarke vibe going on this song with the guitar playing. Next is Trapped in a Mid Cave. It's an epic. It's 8 minutes and 22 seconds long. This would fit nicely on Sleep's Holy Mountain album, which I just talked about a few minutes ago. Next is the 49-second instrumental, more of an intro for the next song called Epoxia, but it's fabulous. And then, so doing a little Black Sabbath with an intro that goes into the next song. The next is a blues song, if you can believe it. It's called Land. I think it's about 6 minutes long. I'm loving this song. It's the only blues song in this whole discography. It's fabulous. Next is Alien Slut Mum. Holy Jumpin' again. This is a wow song. There's different vibes going here, which I won't describe. It's too difficult, but the textures are so great. It's heavy. Then you get another epic song, Apollyon, the pagan god. It's epic. It's 9 minutes and 28 seconds. Also different textures, difficult to describe, but it's sludgy with virtuoso guitar playing that just speaks like wow. It's just great. This song is in my top 10 of all these three bands' artists. Has to be. That's how good the song is. Next is Acid Test Zone. It's so heavy. You have almost a Screaming for Vengeance type Rob Halford vocals. It seems like that's what Matt Pike is going for. Is it exactly like? No, but it's approaching that, and it's kind of cool. So it's very different vocal-wise in that sense. It's a hardcore punk vibe to it as well. It's great. Next is Latin America, Geological Formation. Kind of sounds like a budgie title because it's so long, but it's cool. It's sludgy. You have a great solo, one of Matt Pike's best, and you have more different textures going on. Difficult to describe, but it's a fabulous song. And then another epic, 10 minutes and 57 seconds, called Leaving the Wars of Woe. This is phenomenal. It'll get stuck in your head like it has for me anyway. It's wow. It's a slow song. It's one of those meditative songs, but it's just, it's so amazing. Again, I can't describe it to you in words, but it's so fabulous. When I heard this, I was blown away. And like I said, I've been reevaluating everything, a long process, and my feelings about this have not changed. This belongs in the 4th spot. It has to. So, again, Pike versus the Automaton. I hope there's more to come solo-wise with Matt Pike. I'm loving this. Now, probably the moment you've been waiting for, where the hell is this album, right? Well, here it comes, folks. Number 3, The Sciences. Sleep. The guitar textures and tone and vibe. The bass, of course, and the drums are phenomenal, as always. And one of the things I like about this album, even though it's not the music part, you get the booklet out, is they're Rush fans because of the photos. If you know moving pictures with the time-lapse photography or whatever it's called, with a slow motion, you get multiple selves of Geddy, Alex, and Neil. Look familiar? Same vibe going on. I don't know if it's the same photographer or what have you. And then there's Matt at the bottom. This is fabulous. Love it. Clearly, one of them or all of them are Rush fans. Hey, they like epic songs, right? Whether Sleep, Higher and Fire. Got the silly breakfast in the middle. I guess they're ZZ Top fans, maybe. If you remember Trey Hombres, but that's Mexican food. Anyway, the title track, Marionette's theme, Sonic Titan, 12 minutes and almost 30 seconds long. Great, great epic song. Giza Butler, Giza, also an epic, 10 minutes, 3 seconds. Antarcticans Thawed, 14 minutes and 23 seconds. I think that's a homage to Lovecraft. And The Botanist. And if you have the Ionic EP, same vibe and tone as the stuff on here. This is phenomenal. I would include the Ionic EP along with this because it pretty much came out at the same time. You have the Clarity, and I forget the other song, and that's the shirt has the Mariana, which you can't see because the microphone's in the way. But this is phenomenal. When I heard that they were putting a new album out, I could not wait. And this is glorious. This is fabulous, folks. This is an amazing. So it gets the number 3 spot. Well, that process of elimination. What's next, folks? This next album, oh man. Snakes for the Divine. Let's talk about this album, shall we? All right, let me get my notes in order here. It's a hot mess, folks. Sorry about that. And here we go. So, the opening, let me get my CD, is the title track. And the opening guitar intro kind of sounds like Thunderstruck, but not exactly. It has the same tone, which is different from what we normally hear from Matt, but it's great. It's pounding, it's heavy. There's this to and fro between thrash and fast-paced elements with the stoner, pounding, slow, sludgy stuff going on. It's great. Alternating tempos, fabulous. Then you get Frosthammer, so some Viking metal here, thematically and sounding-wise. Great opening riff. Then there's a shift, kind of sounds like a sea shanty, but it's great. Think of a heavy metal sea shanty, if you will. You start singing Sons of the North, the lyrics, great. Very Lemmy-ish. Frosthammer is, well, Matt Pike sings the phrase Frosthammer 3 times in that sea shanty part. It's just great. And then the solo kicks in, which is just blistering. It's great. All right, then you get Bastard Samurai, which is amazing. You get the slow intro, sets the mood. You get the sludgy, pounding metal goodness. Then you get the slowness back that's intoxicating. Vocals sharpening my blade, so getting ready for war, right? Then halfway through the song, there's a shift, slight pickup in pace. It's like a battle hymn-like song. Exquisite guitar solo. It's almost like Alex Lifeson on steroids. Told you, Rush fans, right? It's brief but similar tone to Farewell and Natural Science on Permanent Waves. And then there's this Lemmy-like vocals at times. This is great. Next is Ghost Neck. This is a microcosm, the song is, of the band in its entirety. Best of both worlds again, that thrash, speed metal, combined with that doom, sludge elements and vocals. So many textures here, hard to describe, but a fantastic song. Next is The Path, just a cool intro for the next song. Again, doing that Black Sabbath thing, right? Which is the intro to Fire, Flood, and Plague. This is phenomenal. Great pace, mid-tempo fast, pounding, thrash elements, shredding guitar. How Dark We Pray, 8 minutes, 7 seconds of epic goodness. Almost a melodic intro or quasi-melodic intro on guitar. Heavy and emotive, shift to drums, bass, and guitar. Has a different tone after that in style. The vocals kick in at the 2 minute and 30-second mark. It's sludgy, it's slow. Solo is heavy metal blues tone. It's fabulous, it's a gem. Holy Flames of the Fire Spitter, budgie type title again here. Shredding solo, Pantera-like vocals on steroids, Phil Anselmo on steroids vocals. Double bass is dynamite, so thrash metal-y. And then you get the bonus track if you got the Best Buy version, which also comes with 2 bonus tracks, which are Eyes and Teeth Live and Cometh Down Hessian Live. I did some research. I don't see this available on Amazon, even on digital download. But if you can find a copy, or if you can get a version or an MP3 version of the song, it's called Mystery of Helm. It's a bonus track, amazing intro. The tone here is one of the best songs on the album. The tone is that. Oh, it's great. So see if you can get your hands on that. What a great album. High on Fire. Snakes for the Divine. Great song, great album. All right, finally, you figured it out by now. Blessed Black Wings is my favorite. Now, everything I've mentioned, if I go to my initial page in my notes, where I have everything listed, all 14, here it is. Let's recap. 14, Volume 1, Sleep. 13, Luminiferous, High on Fire. 12, Electric Messiah, High on Fire. 11, Dope Smoker, Sleep. 10, Art of Self-Defense, High on Fire. 9, De Vermis, Mysteries, means the mysteries of the worm, by the way, High on Fire. 8, Death is Communion, High on Fire. 7, Surrounded by Thieves, High on Fire. 6, Holy Mountain, Sleep. 5, Cometh the Storm, High on Fire, Pike versus the Automaton, Matt Pike solo record. 3, The Sciences, Sleep. Snakes for the Divine, High on Fire. And Blessed Black Wings, number 1 again, High on Fire. Now, let me talk about this album a little bit. All right, here we go. Here's my notes. Now, everything I've just mentioned that I've read, from 14 all the way to number 2, for the most part, everything here, 99.9% of what I've said to you today, everything here is phenomenal or close to phenomenal. And we would put it up way here. Blessed Black Wings, however, is here. It's an 11 out of 10. It is their legendary album. They have some masterpieces here. Pale in comparison to this. As great as this stuff is, this is greater. Right? That's what I mean. You may disagree, of course. Here are the songs. Devolution sounds like Fast Eddie Clarke on guitar, especially the solo. The Face of Oblivion, slow part, then builds up again. Think Master of Puppets. That middle section has a Master of Puppets feel because it slows down and then it gets heavy again. I'm not sure if that's what they were going for on purpose, but it makes me think of that. Great song. Next is Brother in the Wind. This is like Motorhead on steroids, including Pike's voice. Next is Cometh Down Hessian. I had to look up what Hessian was when I was like, what the hell is that? And then, lo and behold, started teaching American history. Here you go. Specific type of German. All right. This song is like a freight train on steroids. Like the previous song, like a freight train on steroids. Chugga, chugga, chugga. This song would fit well on the Motorhead Orgasmatron album, I think, because of that. Chugga, chugga. I could see Motorhead, if they were still around, doing the song. The title track. Great guitar intro. Minute 40 seconds. Then vocals, full of different heavy metal textures and vibes. Checks all the boxes the song does. Next is Anointing of Seer. I just got to check. I really like this song. I don't have a description. It's hard to describe. It's kind of a slower, moodier song. It's not thrashy, but it's a good song. Next is To Cross the Bridge. This is a phenomenal song. Heavy shredding. Has a quasi-acoustic intro. It's just great. You have that heaviness to it that is just what you expect from this band. Next is Silverback, the penultimate track. This is what I call a punching bag song because you're the punching bag. You're getting hit musically. The sonic punches are fabulous. The riffs are great. Pounding drums and bass. The shredding is phenomenal. And then finally you have the instrumental Sons of Thunder, Viking metal, nice slow intro, heavy metal marching song, anthemic, nice solo, the outro, same as the intro, so the song comes full circle. This is, again, as much as this is phenomenal, and most of this is phenomenal, this is way up here. And then everything else is like right here. And this is here. Now finally, with respect to High on Fire's discography, talk about some live stuff. If you're a big fan or you're interested, I suggest getting this live album. It's called Live from the Relapse Contamination Festival. It's short, but it's got some of their best songs on here. Take a look at that for a minute. Then after, let's see, after Snakes for the Divine came out, this came out not long after, but like Use Your Illusion in 2 parts, they could have just put this out as a double CD. This is live stuff. High on Fire, Spitting Fire Live, Volumes 1 and 2. This is phenomenal, by the way. Here are the songs. I'll go ahead and read these. Serums of Lao, Last, Frosthammer, 10,000 Years, Fertile Green, Speed Wolf, Devolution. This is Volume 1. Volume 2, Rumors of War, D2, Fury Whip, Madness of an Architect, Face of Oblivion, Hung, Drawn, and Quartered, Blood from Zion, Snakes for the Divine. So since Madness of an Architect is on here, this means this came out after De Vermis. So anyway, folks, tell me what you think in the comments. Love to hear what you have to say. Thank you so much for watching. Take care now. Bye-bye.